Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, whatever time you're listening to this podcast on, and welcome to the Gift of Gaming podcast on this month's news episode. That's right, it's the news. It's the beginning of February. You should realize how this thing works at this stage. Ubisoft hit the reset button, and you better believe that means closures and cancellations. Valve is getting sued, and the Switch 2 is likely going to get more expensive. All this and more in today's episode of the Gift of Gaming podcast. All right, it's me, your host, Darren Wade, and today I'm joined by the Steam Deck verified Luke Maycock.
What's up, Darren?
And the console-hating, PC-playing, retro-repping, lore-seeking, full-time Canadian himself, Chris Robbins. Chris.
What's going on?
Welcome to the pod. Gentlemen, how are we this morning?
Good. Was retro-repping new? I don't think I've heard retro-repping.
Retro-repping was a little while back.
Was it?
Yeah.
I feel like I missed that one.
Yeah.
I'm just so good at saying it so quickly that you never noticed it before. It's just that I slipped up there that you actually picked it up, you know? That's how good I have been.
That's how consistent.
Isn't that the opposite of being good, though? Like,
Chris, shut your goddamn mouth.
I thought just Chris was a title dragon just hoarding new titles. All
yeah,
the time.
breaker of chains, mother of dragons and shit. Yeah.
Gentlemen, how are we this morning?
Good. We got a cheeky bank holiday day off here in Ireland, so everybody is in a good and sleepy mood. It's been nice.
We finally getting through the January blues.
Yeah, I think so.
On to can live on with the rest of our lives.
I mean, this weekend was pretty fucking dreary, though.
Oh, do you mean weather-wise, or?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just always grey right now, man.
Welcome to Ireland in the winter, sir.
Nah, it's great. It's my birthday, so I'm happy.
Yeah.
Happy
Happy birthday, Luke.
Oh, I think. Yeah, that was a suggestion. You guys always wish me happy birthday. No, I think I've said this before, but the January blues, I'm partially immune to them because I always have my birthday's at the end of January, so I'm always looking forward to it. I'm like, why is everyone so sad? It's my birthday soon.
Yeah,
everyone be happy.
It's totally reasonable, and we do have this new bank holiday to look forward to.
Yeah, which is
ever since the COVID days.
Beautiful.
We'll take it, gentlemen. I suppose before we get into our news episodes, Chris, you kindly highlighted the fact that we have a how would you say? An update on a story we covered a while back. Let me just see if I can actually find it.
Yeah, well, this update it's a bit older. It should have been in, I think, last month's news or maybe even the months before. But I figured since we kind of dragged the company through the mud during this time about this issue, it'd be nice to highlight that it was resolved.
Yeah. So this is from Game Developer. This is from Diego Arguello. Marathon stolen art assets issue solved with Bungie and Sony. So we'll go through this. I think the reason we kind of brought this up initially was that it was a developer, an artist, realized that Marathon had stolen some of their assets to use in the game. Was that the initial news story that we covered,
Correct.
Maybe early 2025 or something?
It was an artist that had been commissioned by Bungie once upon a time to do work for them. So it's likely that she still had assets somewhere on.
And I don't think she was commissioned, but they turned down a bunch of things, wasn't it?
I can't really remember the details. I know she did kind of work with Bungie at one point, or was going to, or something.
Yeah, but I think if I'm remembering the story right, that her work was turned down, her submissions were turned down, and they weren't going to be used for the game, so she didn't get paid for them, and then they ended up being used for the game regardless.
God damn, that's cryptic. Well, let's get on with this. So we were shitting on them then. Let's see how things are now. Around 7 months after Bungie publicly acknowledged and apologized for the use of stolen art assets in Marathon, graphic designer Anti-Real, real name unknown, said the issue has been solved. In a social media post yesterday, this is from early December, I think, so this is from when this would have been solved. The designer said that Marathon art issue has been resolved with Bungie and Sony Interactive to my satisfaction, end quote. As of the time of publication, neither company has issued a statement about the presumed settlement and or compensation, nor has Anti-Real shared specifics about the conversations among all parties. The situation started in May around the Marathon Alpha test. Back then, Anti-Real claimed that the game's environments were covered with assets lifted from poster designs that she made in 2017. Then the claims were bolstered by Marathon players who noticed a key reference made by the artist. In 2024, Anti-Real said they hid the quote, loss meme in their work 6 years ago. The meme refers to recreations of a webcomic page from Control-Alt-Delete with the same name. A user spotted the meme on an in-game building in Marathon. Quote, I don't have the resources nor the energy to spare to pursue this legally, but I have lost count of the number of times a major company has deemed it easier to pay a designer to imitate or steal my work than to write me an email, end quote, the designer wrote at the time. The following day, Bungie acknowledged the uncompensated use of Anti-Real's work at Marathon, attributing it to a, quote, former artist at Bungie. The studio said they had reached out to the designer to discuss the issue and that it was committed to do right by them. To prevent similar issues in the future, we are conducting a thorough review of our in-game assets, specifically those done by the former Bungie artist, and implementing stricter checks to document all artist contributions, the studio wrote. The article goes on to talk about how Marathon's had a real tough 2025 above all, but I think that's a pretty good closure of stealing someone's shit.
Yeah, like I said, I think when we initially did this, it was probably just an intern that like had access to like a folder or something, like an assets folder that her stuff was in there. Shouldn't have been in there, but yeah, like most people probably didn't even know it was there.
Someone else's work, yeah, until pointed out. But
she didn't pursue it legally, and still it got resolved to what she said was her satisfaction. So.
Yeah, which is good. I suppose, though, like, I mean, you know, I suppose the little people wouldn't necessarily have the money or the resources to go after the big companies in terms of a legal battle. So I think it was, I think they kind of pretty much admitted it in that initial thing that they weren't going to pursue it, but they were just kind of like, fuck this is bullshit. Yeah. So good on Bungie for doing right, because they weren't forced legally to do so.
Yeah, and I'm glad they were able to, you know, get some good PR, because Marathon's looking good. Like, I'm getting kind of, you know, it's got my attention.
It's been such an up and down for that fucking game. It's one of those things where I hope it lands. To me, I think the stars need to align for Marathon to be successful, like to be super successful, to be successful in a way that like all the work they've put into it will be worth it. I just don't know if those stars will align. Because what is it? We got another extraction shooter
People
live
still
service
riding
game.
high, and the one thing they don't like about our creators that Marathon does have the edge is Marathon is a true first-person shooter. So as long as they nail the gameplay and make it a fun game, there's a huge, huge community out there that is.
Do we know?
I think.
Do we know is it going to be free to play, or is it going to be a 40 quid?
$40. $40.
Same as Ark.
Yeah.
Raiders. Okay.
I don't hate this new $40 dues price points, where you get a whole ass game for 40 quid. That's great.
It is still live service, so
and you pay for cosmetics and stuff, right?
Yeah. But the problem with the live service is if it doesn't succeed, like another particular game that was released right now, although that one was free, but if it doesn't succeed, they're just going to sunset it, because they're not going to keep it open and maintain the service if they're not making
That's interesting. Yeah.
But I will say, in terms of Ark Raiders, I paid 40 quid for that. I have 180 something hours in that. Like it is.
Yeah, the craziest bang for buck I've.
Yeah, it is approaching Final Fantasy VII Rebirth amount of
value for money.
Well, I mean, in terms of
it already beats it.
It already beats it. It's $40. Yeah, because I mean, Rebirth. I think I got 200 or it was 120 hours to complete the game, and I probably threw in another 20 or 30 after that. So I've already played Ark Raiders more than Rebirth, and for half the price. Like, so what a game that's been. So yeah, you're right, Luke. Let's see more of that. You know, you want to throw in cosmetics and stuff like that? Fine, go for it. But you know, you can make a game for 40 quid.
Yeah.
Shall we get into the news then for January, gentlemen?
Let's shall.
Much like our January blues, the gaming world is not a happy place in January. We'll start off with the ASUS price increase. ASUS is now implementing strategic price adjustments, and retailers are already hiking prices for laptops from other brands. This comes from PC Gamer by Jacob Fox. This is from the 8th of January. If there's one great thing about this year's CES, it's that it's been a nice distraction from all the memory crisis-induced hardware pricing doom and gloom. Admittedly, it's given us its own share of mild gloom with its own expensive products and relentless focus on AI, but that's by the by. Now, the main excitement is out of the way, though. We can get back to the really bitter pricing stuff. Lovely. In case you missed it, such as ASUS saying it's going to hike its prices, it's all here below. As reported by Digitimes, a letter from ASUS speaks about planning to adjust prices for, quote, certain product combinations from January 5th, 2026. Quote, after carefully reviewing market conditions, supply stability, and our commitments to product quality, and while continuing to invest in technical R&D, ASUS plans to implement strategic price adjustments for certain product combinations starting January 5th, 2026, end quote. ASUS has since clarified to video cards that the document is a private internal business communication and wasn't intended as a public announcement or press material. That, of course, doesn't really change anything. It's still ASUS's plan, as is attested by the fact that it looks like the company has, in fact, already started to raise prices. According to Mirror Daily, which states it, quote, visited several retailers in Guanghai Shopping Mall, Taiwan, to inquire about prices on January 5th, one retailer said that the ASUS had told retailers that, quote, general word processing laptops will increase in price by, I'm not quite sure of the currency in Shanghai, it's NT $3,000 to NT $5,000, which is about $95 USD to 160 USD. While gaming laptops will increase by around about $225 to 320 US. This too is apparently making retailers raise prices from other brands, as, quote, not only did every retailer in Guanghai Shopping Mall raise prices on the 5th, but every laptop brand sold by Moxon, a store the site visited, will also see a 20% price increase starting Monday, end quote. The cause is, need I say, the AI-induced memory shortage. ASUS explicitly states as much in its letter, although it also says, quote, global demand in the PC and IT infrastructure market remains strong. I suppose the demand is the cause, though, so that tracks. Just flicking around the different big online retailers, I don't see any big ASUS laptop price hikes in the US just yet, but I suppose things take a while to filter through. Many retailers will still be working with previous stocks, and plenty still have great deals on them. We were told by retailer Overclockers UK explicitly that once products bought at a lower price sells out, they'll have to raise prices in line with the higher cost charged to them to buy new stock. With ASUS not denying the credibility of this letter, it's surely just a matter of time. How expensive are things going to get for us, gentlemen? Because AI just needs a whole lot of RAM.
I mean, there's a bubble about to burst. I'm fairly certain of it. Like, AI still just not making money.
There
the
is
shit they're turning out is just like people are just wasting it to make like videos of like a cat dancing.
a bubble is going to burst. I don't know if it's going to happen soon.
I think it'll be this year.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I mean, this is going to be me sounding very negative, but I would love for that bubble to burst because I want the way AI has infiltrated its way into my life in terms of job and all that kind of stuff. It's like, no, this is not the way we were promised. Well, actually, no. In all the movies, we were promised it would turn out exactly like this. But in the way people spoke about, hey, it'll make our lives easier. And
I'd
all that
much
kind of
rather a Terminator than what the fuck's going on. This slow bullshit.
Yeah. It just hit us quick and fast with us. Let us pull the Band-Aid straight off.
Yeah.
Does it make you guys concerned? I know you're saying this year, but in either of your respective lives, are you concerned about how more expensive tech is going to get for us?
I'm going to have to pivot pretty soon, I think.
How much more expensive tech is going to get? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Expense-wise? Yeah. No, because eventually it'll get to a point, like it's already gotten to a point where people can't afford it. So what are they going to do? If people can't buy like any sort of hardware, people become more not as useful in their like day-to-day. I don't see it lasting that long. You have to keep hardware affordable for people.
I mean, yeah, I think it's going to hit the leisure sector, like gaming. I think it's going to hit gaming pretty hard for a while. Interesting that whole article like revolved around ASUS, and ASUS are the ones in charge of Xbox's new handheld. It's the ASUS ROG Ally X. So I'm sure.
I don't know why this article said ASUS though. Maybe just because they had concrete evidence. This affects every PS6.
It will. Yeah.
It's going to be $100.
I think the reason it's focused on ASUS was because of a letter that was kind of leaked directly from ASUS, which is kind of confirming all of our natural thoughts on the situation.
Everything is more expensive now because of this.
I imagine Microsoft are scrambling after hearing about that, being like, wait, what do we need to... we already have the most expensive console on the market, let alone handheld. Like, what do we need to do to keep this price down? That'll be a funny conversation. With everything's just going to get more expensive, which is shitty. You'd hope... My main hope is that the Steam machine has already... been spec'd out and designed, and they've like loads of units ready to go off the shelves, and it's already priced, and they've locked in the price, and they're going to be cool about it. It's
going to be sold out within the first 15 minutes.
The Steam machine, though, has also, which is what I've been disappointed by, is they're not looking at the console. How would you say? They're not doing, I suppose, like they said, the console package, where most of these retailers, Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, take about a 10 or 20% kind of hit on these to sell them, so that they are, naturally about 10 to 20% cheaper. Loss leaders. Valve have come out and confirmed that the Steam machine they're doing no such thing. They don't need a loss leader. No. So it's going to be...
In fact, we're going to get into this. They can't... I don't think they can do a loss leader because that would hurt them in another, once again, lawsuit that they're facing.
Oh, and that's also on today's episode.
Yeah.
I mean, that was going to be a good segue, but I kind of need to stick with this whole things getting expensive bit. But we'll come to your bit in a second, Chris. I'll go on to this next article, which to me seems like a straight symptom of the first article we just read there. This is Nintendo Switch 2 faces a price increase in 2026.
There you go. There it is.
Research firm predicts.
Everything is affected by this.
Yeah. This is coming from VGC by Chris Scullion from the 20th of January. In a report detailing its 10 predictions for 2026, video game business intelligence and consumer insight firm Nico Partners says it believes a global price hike for Switch 2 will take place at some point in 2026. Quote, the Nintendo Switch 2 is competitively priced compared to the PS5 and Xbox Series S after the latter consoles witnessed price hikes last year, the report reads. But we believe the Switch 2 is set to follow in Sony and Microsoft's footsteps with its own price hike driven by impacts from tariffs, increased memory costs, and broader macroeconomic conditions. Nintendo chose to maintain its $449 entry price last year despite the introduction of tariffs impacting production in China, Japan, and Vietnam. More recently, increased demand for AI data centers has pushed RAM and storage prices up. Quote, while we do anticipate Nintendo to increase the price of the Switch 2, they may opt to discontinue the $449 SKU and only sell a $499 or higher bundle SKU instead. Last week, Nintendo President Shuntaro Furukawa said the company is keeping a close eye on Switch 2's profit margin as the increase in memory prices and ongoing tariffs remain an ongoing issue in the industry. Quote, we procure RAM from suppliers based on our medium to long-term business plans, but the current memory market is very volatile, he told Kyoto Shimbun via machine translation. There is no immediate impact on earnings, but it is something we must monitor closely. When asked if this could lead to Nintendo increasing its prices depending on its future procurement costs, Furukawa said that this was hypothetical and he couldn't comment. Nintendo Switch 2 faces a price increase in 2026. Research firm predicts Nintendo stopped short of increasing Switch 2's launch price in the US, but a decision to increase the price of the original Switch suggests it's still not off the table. Last year, before Switch 2 launched, Nintendo held fire on pre-orders in the US due to economic uncertainty in the region, before eventually announcing that while the console itself would not see a price increase at launch, some accessories would. Quote, Nintendo Switch 2 accessories will experience price adjustments from those announced on April 2nd due to changes in market conditions, it said at the time. Other adjustments to the price of any Nintendo product are also possible in the future, depending on market conditions. This came to pass in August when Nintendo announced that it was increasing the price of the original Switch console in the US due to market conditions, increasing the price of the Switch to $339 from $299, Switch OLED to $399 from $349, and a Switch Lite to $229 from $199. Well, there's the evidence, gentlemen.
Switch Lite's price is going up. That's crazy.
All the other SKUs, like I mean, initially I wouldn't have been too up and with it in terms of the technological thing and RAM and AI and all that jazz. I just assumed it was a greedy tactic to kind of turn people off. Well, if I'm going to spend money on the Switch, I might as well fork out an extra, 100 to get the Switch 2. But it seems as though they were holding the Switch 2 price down while being like, well, we need to fucking cover the costs in another way, so old Switch products go up.
They were doing their best to keep prices low in the first place, which is terrifying because everything is already so expensive.
Yeah.
But AI is smacking us hard.
Will it ever stop? Chris, you delighted you got your Switch 2 before any sort of price increase?
Yeah, I guess so. I just need more games to play. Duskbloods. Can't wait.
But at least when it comes out, you won't have to fork out the extra money for a Switch 2. What do you reckon it increases by? Like, how much do you reckon they'd have to increase the Switch 2 by?
50 quid? Isn't that not the price? That
seems to be the standard across what they did with the old products.
Yeah, another 50 quid, I'd say. Yeah.
So 500 flat for a Switch 2.
Yep.
What was the original price that we paid for the Switch 2, Chris? Was it €450?
Fuck, I don't know. Came with Mario. I got the Mario one. I think everyone got the Mario one.
Let me just check what Smith's is
you
selling.
think it'll just be a flat 50? Like, oh yeah, it depends on how much RAM is actually in it. RAM is shockingly expensive though. Like,
yep.
Crazy. It's more expensive than fucking graphics cards now, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
A wild situation. So the Switch 2 we would have bought for around about 460 quid. So we reckon maybe 500, 510.
Yeah.
So if you are considering on buying a Switch 2 soon and don't want to spend an extra 50 quid, now it's probably the time, folks. But that's not me saying that that's definitely going to happen. Don't come back to me if it never increases in price.
Oh, it will. It will. It's all going up.
It's all going up. Also, so is lawsuits for Steam. That was a really bad segue. It's the best. It's the best I could do, Chris. You couldn't wait to bring it up until later. But here we go. $900 million lawsuit accusing Steam of overcharging gamers in the UK and abusing a dominant market position will proceed after Valve loses appeal against it. This is coming from Andy Chalk, a PC gamer, from the 27th of January. I have a cold, so excuse me here while I choke down some water before I read this article. Okay. Valve is facing a new legal headache as the tribunal in the UK has ruled that a lawsuit filed against it in 2024, accusing the company of using Steam's dominance of the PC gaming marketplace to overcharge gamers and muscle competition, can move ahead. The lawsuit was filed on behalf of children's digital rights campaigner Vicky Shortbolt as a collective action, functionally similar to a class action, representing an estimated 14 million consumers in the UK.
That shit drives me so fucking angry. She just claims she's representing people. Nobody came forward. Like, nobody wants this. There might be a handful of people that want, I don't know, some sort of compensation, but like to sue Steam over this, like nobody signed up for this fucking bullshit. No 14 million.
And 14 million people?
No, fuck no. That never happened. She's just, making claims.
Well, let's see what else this goes on to say. So very briefly, alleges that Valve prevents game makers from offering their products at lower prices on other platforms. Requires that all add-on content for games purchased on Steam also be purchased through Steam, and that Valve's excessive commission has resulted in inflated prices.
Excessive commission is also nonsense because they charge the standard 30%. The only platform that doesn't charge 30% is Epic. And that's because nobody wants to use Epic, and it's... Dude, but like PlayStation, Nintendo, Microsoft, even like Apple and Google, all charge 30%.
Okay. Well, Valve has argued that the case should not be allowed to proceed as a collective action on a number of technical grounds, including that it would be difficult to accurately determine who is eligible to claim damages. The Competition Appeal Tribunal, via the BBC, disagreed, however, declaring that, quote, the certification criteria were satisfied and it was appropriate to grant a CPO on an opt-out basis, end quote. Study says only 72% of game developers reckon that Steam has a monopoly on PC games, and even with some big caveats, it makes me wonder what the other 28% are thinking. Larian, publisher director, says Steam is dominant because it isn't providing a shit service defined by a public shareholder's KPIs, but concedes, quote, a post-Gabe world is a terrifying one.
What a line.
That is Larian Studios, man.
Yeah, and they keep killing it. A website dedicated to the action at Steam you owe us. It's really hard to read that when it's all one word. Actually, at steamuous.com states that, quote, this claim does not want to and is not about shutting down Steam or restricting gamer access to the platform in any way, but merely seeks to ensure Steam does not operate in a way that is detrimental to the consumer.
No, it's just an ambulance chaser trying to get a quick buck.
It also states that I love the Chris, your inputs here as a Steam fan. It also says, while Steam appears to offer lower prices than other platforms, that's merely the result of Steam's price parity obligation, which prevents game sellers from listing products on other platforms unless the price on Steam is the same or lower. That's a change from the website in its initial form, which, as seen on the Wayback Machine, had tougher and more straightforward allegations about Valve's alleged anti-consumer practices and may reflect certain unspoken realities. Steam may not be good for consumers, but consumers sure do love Steam, and the possible loss of access to the storefront isn't likely to score big points in public opinion. The tribunal ruling is a loss for Valve, but a preliminary one, meaning only that it will have to defend its practices in court rather than dodging the bullet entirely. That's a process that could drag out for years. Valve is facing a similar suit in the US that was initially filed in 2021. Chris, I know you're a Steam fan. Do you reckon that there's any sort of, I suppose, what would you say, truth in this?
No. Especially with the price parity thing, like that was worded really, really poorly. Because like you can sell your game on other platforms like Epic and stuff for cheaper. In fact, Epic, in its attempts to get a bigger user base, often make games just straight up free. It's like Red Dead Redemption 2. They've just given away for free in order to get people over. But people still would rather go to Steam and buy it there. That's a different issue, though.
Mm-hmm.
The price parity is Steam allows the selling of Steam keys, where you can come back and redeem on the Steam marketplace. But those Steam keys can't be sold for cheaper than available on Steam.
Yeah, to protect their own.
To protect,
market.
yeah. So they're not overcharging their customers.
Yep.
Which makes perfect sense. It's like somebody selling a product for them, but at a lower rate and undercutting them. And the other thing is, I don't think they make commission off of Steam keys.
Because Steam keys are one of the bigger appeals of game developers to sell on Steam, because it's just a fantastic way to distribute your game. Like you can give away keys for free, like for test cases and stuff like that. So it's a really useful tool for developers, but then Steam just put that protection in to stop people from undercutting their own market.
Which, perfectly acceptable.
like-
but they're not telling developers, like, you can't go and sell your game on Epic for cheaper. Like,
or GOG or whatever. Like, yeah.
GOG is one of the ones, though, because they sell Steam keys.
Exactly,
So
yeah. So there's lots of there's lots of websites where you can get, like, they allege that they can get you Steam keys for cheaper or whatever. So that was a measure that Valve brought in to protect itself from basically just like giving shit away for cheaper. Like they designed a system that's really beneficial to developers, and this was a protection they added in to make sure it wasn't abused to just completely delete their own presence off the market, which was quite clever.
Another argument that this the whole lawsuit brought up that wasn't mentioned in this article is the fact that like Steam locks you into their platform, because when you buy their game on Steam, you also have to buy the DLC from Steam. You can't buy it from Epic, which is like no other platform. Like you can't buy a game on PlayStation but buy its DLC on Xbox and expect it to work on PlayStation. It doesn't fucking work like that.
I guess that's not a similar argument to make, I guess, because the PlayStation infrastructure, like my PlayStation games only plays PlayStation things. The only infrastructure I can buy my PlayStation games from is the PlayStation Store.
Because we're not talking, just because it's on a PC doesn't, look at like the new Steam OS. Now that is Linux. So now we're talking Linux versus Windows. They're still built on computers.
Yeah.
Right? So why can't you make that argument that they're that's different there?
No, they're
between Xbox and
but
PlayStation.
because they're PC operating models, so they're all still in the PC, I would have said, infrastructure. Like I suppose, like with PlayStation games, if I go digitally to buy my games, the only place I can buy my PlayStation games is on the PlayStation Store. With PCs, you've got Steam, you've got Epic, you've got what's the other one?
Microsoft. You got
and
Microsoft Store,
and then GOG. What's the
GOG is
those
a
are Steam,
reseller.
you buy keys for those other platforms.
Yeah,
almost.
but I mean to say is that there are legitimate other options that you can go to on PC that you can't do with PlayStation and Xbox. So while I understand what you're saying, the argument about buying DLC from Xbox, we can't. There's only the one place you can buy games on PlayStation, whereas with PC there's a number of markets.
It's still,
but it's like you can't buy your game on Epic and then go buy the DLC on Steam. Or you can't buy your game on Steam and go buy the DLC
Epic
on
doesn't
Epic.
Allow it either. But
that's a
like,
better argument.
People have to stop looking at PC as just PC, right? They have different platforms. They even like Xbox has a platform on PC. That doesn't mean Steam and Xbox are now both PC. Like, sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to word this.
I think Xbox is a good example because Xbox is dipping its toes into the realm of PC now at this stage. They're going hybrid. That's their whole, I suppose, case at this stage.
But if you buy something on Steam, you can't buy the DLC on the Microsoft Store and expect it to work because they're different platforms.
Yeah.
But and everyone's doing that. I think is the most defensible argument is that everyone, like Epic does that, Microsoft does that. Yeah. No one lets you buy the game and then go buy the DLC separately. I don't know if with this story that I'm just like missing the vision that the class action lawsuit is going for, but I don't think
money.
She's
just an ambulance chaser. That's all this is.
Maybe.
Well, what's interesting, what I do like about the article is, oh my god, where is the article? Come on, and you can find it all the way back down here. This bit is, I suppose, was the next bit that I wanted to get into it with you guys because Larian, there you go. Larian, producer director, says Steam is dominant because it isn't providing a shit service defined by a public shareholder's KPIs, but concedes a post-Gabe world is a terrifying one. Do you think that when Gabe's gone, what happens to Valve?
I'm pretty sure Valve probably has contingency plans in place for this.
I'm sure Gabe has contingency plans in place. I don't think Gabe's ever going to die.
He's just going to be uploaded to Steam,
immortalized.
He's got that kind of money. Yeah, I think if there's going to be an immortal, he's going to be the first.
Yeah, that'd be wild. But no, I think he's I don't want to use the word grooming because that has such a negative connotation. But he's, training somebody like-minded as him to
take
make
step
these
in the
decisions.
shoes.
Yeah, when he's gone.
Yeah, I think the point is still valid where like the whole market operates around like there's going to be so many outsiders looking at Steam as a big cash cow that just has like a monopoly control of the market, and they're going to want to get their fucking rubby mitts on it as soon as he's gone.
I mean,
the thing is, they didn't even try for a monopoly. They just it happened.
No, and I respect that. No, I respect that. Like in terms of what Gabe's done is like he's created a great service, and that's why it's a monopoly. But the moment Gabe's not behind it, the monopoly.
I'm not going to lie, shit could go south real fast. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
It's like Alex Ferguson getting David Moyes ready to take over Manchester United back in 2012, and it
goes to shit afterwards.
Everyone was like, "Oh, Fergie's picked out his perfect replacement. It's going to be great." And then it just, as soon as he's gone,
snowballed into absolute misery.
It's going to be a dark 13, 14 years.
But it's okay, Luke. Michael Carrick's won 3 games in a row.
Yes.
So we're all good.
We're so back.
We are so back. Yeah, interesting. Great that Larian put in there. It's not a thing that I've actually thought about, is this idea of, because Gabe's so great, but yeah, when he steps down, who takes over Valve? Who makes the decisions about Valve being a consumer first or not consumer first initiative?
I like Larian's new position as being the kid without like a tone filter, just shouting in the room. You're like, what the fuck are everyone talking about? With the AI stuff, where they're like, we're not fucking abusing AI. Leave us alone.
You can't talk to me. Speaking actually of, I might as well get this before we move on. I just want to let you know about our Patreon over patreon.com/the gift of gaming. For less than a coffee a month, you can hop onto our Patreon, where we currently have over 100 post shows for you to enjoy, from video gaming battle royales to thoughts and opinion pieces on the here and now of gaming, and even extra news episodes every month, like today. There's so much for you to enjoy, all keeping the lights, the mics, and our brains on here at the Gift of Gaming podcast. And on today's post show, we're looking at more news, which includes Larian even becoming more clearer and drawing a line in the sand of the generative AI, and of course GTA 6 will be nothing but digital. That's right, no physical copies of GTA 6.
Copies.
So if that's kind of the stuff you're into, check out our Patreon over at patreon.com/the gift of gaming for a growing library of video game content. And do you prefer to listen to your podcast via YouTube video, you absolute psychopath? Then boy, you're in luck. All of our podcast episodes are now on YouTube over at youtube.com/@thegiftofgaming. That's youtube.com/@thegiftofgaming. Smash that like button, subscribe if you're feeling bold, and tell us what you think by dropping us a comment. I say psychopath because we have no video, it's just pure audio. So I have no idea why you put on a YouTube video for that.
You can put it on your apartment in the background.
There you
cleaning.
Go. We cater
Spotify though.
We cater to everybody. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's why I said psychopath. But yes, we cater to everybody. If YouTube's your preferred method.
Except you psychopaths.
Psychopath, you're a psychopath.
Sorry, Luke. I hope I didn't attack you there.
I love YouTube. I have YouTube Premium, so I will listen to podcasts on YouTube all the time.
You are a psychopath.
Just lock my phone.
Fuck that.
Lock my phone. Yeah,
that's fair, man. I respect that. You can't prove that. Stop it. I feel attacked. Here's a bit of a fun one. A fun news episode, because everything's kind of grim so far. So this one it'll be a bit of work, but you could marry them all. Fable has 1,000 handcrafted NPCs for you to play around with. This is coming from IGN by Simon Cardy on the 22nd of January. Now, the reason
the fuck?
The reason
play around with it was
it was a fun, interesting choice of words. Yeah. The reason I want to put in this article in is because I watched I don't know if you guys watched the gameplay footage for Fable, but my God, if it's
it looks great.
For what it says, it is holy shit.
It looks pretty good.
Yeah. Fable, the upcoming open-world fantasy RPG from Playground Games, has 1,000 fully voiced NPCs, and if you do the right things, you can marry every single one of them. The long-awaited fairy tale follow-up to Lionhead's original Xbox trilogy was showcased at the January 2026 Xbox Developer Direct, and finally gave us a good look at its gameplay. But there's more to learn yet, as IGN spoke to the founder of Playground Games, the studio crafting the Fable reboot. When speaking about the characters that inhabit the world of this new version of Fable, Playground Chief Ralph Fulton told us, quote, "They are handcrafted, and there are a lot of things about the way we have built the living population, which I think you could be forgiven for saying is just nuts. I think we maybe once thought we could procedurally generate them, but we abandoned that idea quite a long time ago because we wanted to craft every one of these NPCs from their name, to their appearance, to their personality traits, to that moral worldview that I talked about, to where they work and where they live and what their family unit is, because it's important to the player that they can get to know the uniquely crafted NPCs. There's 1,000 of them in the game. Fulton continued. You can go and speak to every single one of them in fully voiced conversations. You could marry. It'll be a bit of work, but you could marry them all. You could have kids with them. You can hire them. You can fire them. They are just great fun. And also, they act as this sort of Greek chorus, if you like, reflecting your choices and your morality back at you. So as you walk around, that's classic Fable, isn't it? People catcalling you on the street, telling you what they think of you. It's a brilliant thing in our game as well, but it's a great way of tracking how popular your decisions have been and how your choices have been as well. It doesn't sound like it'll be easy to just pop the question to anyone you see wandering around Albion then, with the way you've chosen to roleplay as your hero dictating who may react positively to an offer of engagement. What if you're playing as a goody two-shoes Knight of the Realm, but then the local necromancer catches your eye and captures your heart shortly after? Will you be tempted to delve into the dark arts in the name of love? Search deep within yourself, only you have the answer. Fable is a series that lived and died by its morality system, so it's great to see an emphasis on this sort of character building returning to the reboot. But Playground doesn't simply want to revive the same type of obvious good versus evil decisions seen in the Lionhead games, instead opting for a more fluid approach to how you work your way through its story, many choices, and in turn how its world reacts to your decisions. Quote, we talk about how our morality system is more about shades of grey, Fulton revealed. It's more about the subjectivity of morality that honestly we see in the world today. There's no objective good, there's no objective evil. You couldn't get everyone in the world to agree that something is evil or that something is good. That just doesn't happen. That diversity of opinion, I think, is really clear these days. And therefore, we've sort of taken that, and probably in quite a gamesy, system-y way, we've taken that and built it into the reputation system that we talk about in this piece, which allows you to build reputations based on the things you do within Albion. You could do big things once or little things a lot of times, Fulton explained. And if people see you doing that, it contributes to you building a reputation in that particular location. But the key thing is how the people of Albion react to that, and they react to it based on the individual, almost unique worldview that each have. And I also think that's probably a more nuanced view of morality, but it's super interesting, and it's also just packed with potential in gameplay terms, end quote. For more, check out IGN's interview with Playground Studio head and Fable director Ralph Fulton in full, and be sure to check out everything announced at the Xbox Developer Direct. Fable is due out in fall 2026 and will arrive simultaneously on Xbox Series X and S, PS5, and PC. I
think every one of our expectations falls short on this game. I don't think it comes even close to like the morality system of like Mass Effect. I think they're just bullshitting.
You don't think so?
No, I think they're all fucking full of shit.
The morality system in Mass Effect is a very simple one, though, Chris.
I know.
So you think it doesn't even reach...
Do you actually think they're going to have like really in-depth morality-based like decisions that could lead to like 1,000 different spouses? No, they don't. It's going to be simple like yes or no, or I brought you flowers. And that's it.
Do you believe anything that Ralph said, Luke?
I believe some of the things that Ralph said. I think it's going to be a good game.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it.
All right, well.
I'm excited about it. I don't think the morality system is going to be very complex because that's literally never happened in a game.
It wasn't like people thought it was one of the most groundbreaking things ever in like the first one. I thought it was pretty simple. Kill a bunch of people, your guy becomes like more evil. Like it didn't seem that groundbreaking to me.
Well, I mean, I thought it was pretty groundbreaking at the time because I played it through your Xbox, Luke, back when we were quite young. But no other game had done that before. No game had done this thing whereby, depending on your decisions throughout the game, you become, and like even your whole avatar changed as well. It grew horns if you were evil, and you kind of got like a dark mist about you and that kind of stuff. I don't think any game before that had done anything like that.
And then the world reacted to you in a certain way.
Yeah.
There's other like RPGs and stuff that like wasn't Baldur's Gate predated Fable, didn't it?
Was there
the originals?
I don't know if there was a morality system in Baldur's Gate though. In terms of
it's D&D, wasn't it?
Yeah, but like the way is kind of the way people react to you. Like you can't have like certain interactions become off limits if you've chosen the immoral route, and people only react to you out of like fear and stuff like that. So like certain branches of the game are blocked off if you choose to be immoral or to be very moral. It was cool. I reckon they can maybe add like one additional layer of abstraction onto that where the people in the world react to you, and then that has like smaller scale knock-on effects. Maybe that could be interesting. But I'm still interested in it. Like it's still, Fable 1 was still fun as hell, and it would be fun as hell to play today if they just like, and I think that was more a tonal thing. I don't think they figured out this really technical morality system.
No, but I love the art style of the game.
Yeah.
Everything like that was great in Fable.
They had that stuff in it, but I think they more so just nailed the tone of what it was supposed to be. I think if they pull that off with this game, it'll be a big hit. So I think it can deliver.
Fable was one of those games that I regretted the choice of my brothers to go for a PlayStation 3 instead of the Xbox 360 at that stage. Would it have been?
It was on original Xbox.
Yeah.
True, but I think what I mean to say is that you had Fable and Was Fable 1, 2, and 3 on the original Xbox?
Fable 1 and 2 were, I think.
Well, I don't. Never played the others. I only played the first one.
But I think it was one of those games I was like, damn, maybe.
I think they were on PlayStation.
No, I think they were Xbox exclusive.
I don't know that that's true. I think I remember there being like the box art was a slightly different color and it was on PlayStation. I could be wrong there. Give me a little fact check. With regards to the relationship system, I think that's going to be interesting. I can't wait for the Games Done Quick 100-person polycule % run where they try and get 100 people into an open relationship as quickly as possible.
Xbox, Windows, Mac, and 360.
Xbox, Windows, Mac, 360. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
For Fable 1?
That was Fable 1, yeah.
I think Fable 1 through 3, because that was one of the things that I was like, damn, when we got a PlayStation 3, I was like, because Halo was quite good at the time, so I having lots of fun with you playing Halo, and then Fable was amazing. But what's great about this is that, Xbox being like, hey, we need money, so everyone can have it. Fable will come to PlayStation. So between that and South of Midnight, I'm like, you know what? Okay, I'll take it, Xbox. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm interested. I mean, I saw the gameplay stuff. Do I think it goes as in depth as? Do I think it has as many shades of grey as Ralph talks about in this? Probably not. I think it's probably a little bit closer to a black and white, with hints of grey maybe. But I think the game looks great, and I'm into like if I can play a Fable again, and if it has that same tone as you said, if it's got the same tone and character, like it's gonna be a great game.
They can knock it out of the park. So I'm excited. I'm not gonna buy it day one, but I don't buy anything day one.
Nor I. I think it's one of those games I'll wait for the reviews to see if it is doing what I expected it to do.
A couple of weeks later, and they're really good reviews, then I might put it on my wish list to see when it goes on sale and then get it.
I'm going to take a little bit of a sidebar here before we go into our last article, and that is, have you guys been watching anything to do with Crimson Desert?
I don't even know what that is. No.
Oh my God. So Crimson Desert was I think it was on a State of Play or maybe even Summer Games Fest last year that we saw our first images of it. And it's kind of based in kind of medieval open world game. And like everything was happening. Like you were getting into hot air balloons, you were you were in this mech, you were on all sorts of mounts traveling this massive world, and you could use all sorts of weapons, and there was magic. And I was like,
MMO,
single player action RPG. Okay. And I was like, there's no way they can have this many things in it. Then they released a 15-minute gameplay not long after Fable was released. And the reason I bring this up was because do I think Fable will be as good as what we've seen? And I'm like, I hope so. But this game, Crimson Desert, is one on my list of like things to play in 2026. It was one of the ones I had on my list. They showed a gameplay thing, and I'm like, holy shit, that looks.
I don't trust the company.
What company is it?
It's the same company that make Black Desert, which is one of the most egregious like pay to win games out there.
Cool.
And I think they'll lie about like what they're displaying probably is an actual like in game. Like when you get it, the graphics are going to be scaled back to. I don't trust what they're showing.
Okay. Well, listen, that's not an unreasonable thing to have. Everyone remember Cyberpunk?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that because it's one of those things where I hope Fable meets all those expectations that I have based on what I've watched, and if Crimson Desert meets all the expectations I have based on what I watch, I'm like, oh my God, Crimson Desert is a little bit of a sneaky game of the year for 2026 if GTA 6 is delayed, of course.
I think obviously I don't really care that much about what Microsoft or Xbox do anymore. They're kind of dead on the water for me. But if Fable flops for Xbox, I'm like looking at them being like, what else do you have?
Yeah.
Like you don't do anything.
You flopped Halo.
A fucking Halo remake.
Yeah.
That's February, is it?
Is it?
I think so. I think that's supposed to be this month. This month or next month.
Exciting times, maybe.
I don't think I'm going to buy it.
I think I would be interested in buying it to have that thumbnail on my PlayStation.
It's just a Master Chief.
Yeah, it'd be really weird. And we'll go on to our last news article of the day, probably the biggest one. Ubisoft hits a major reset button, cancels 6 games, including Prince of Persia Remake, delays 7 more reportedly, including an Assassin's Creed Black Flag Remake, and confirms 4 new IPs, as well as closing 2 studios. This is coming from Games Radar Plus by Austin Wood from the 21st of January. Ubisoft will undergo a, quote, major reset across organizational, operational and portfolio levels in a seismic shakeup for the company, which has repeatedly reported disappointing or declining sales and stock prices in recent years. This new organization structure will, quote, start operating in early April. This reset has seen the cancellation of 6 in-development games, including the long-delayed Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time remake. These games did not, quote, meet the new enhanced quality as well as more selective portfolio prioritization criteria, the company says. 4 of these cancelled games were unannounced, including 3 new IPs and a mobile game. For those wondering if Beyond Good and Evil 2 was among the cancelled projects, we can all say for now, all we can say for now is that Beyond Good and Evil is listed as a company brand elsewhere, so still safe, I guess. A statement from CEO and founder Yevgeny Mott highlights a AAA industry that has become persistently more selective and competitive with rising development costs and greater challenges in creating brands. Despite these challenges, Ubisoft says exceptional AAA content, when successful, has more financial potential than ever. Ubisoft says it will allocate additional development time to 7 more now delayed games, including an unannounced title initially planned for financial year 2026 that has been delayed to financial year 2027. Bloomberg's Jason Schreier reports this lineup includes the long-rumored Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake. This portfolio revision covers the roadmap over the next 3 years. We'll have big products coming over the next 3 years, CFO Frederic Dugas said in a Wednesday investors call attended by Games Radar Plus. As part of cost-cutting measures, hoping to shave off an additional 200 million over the next 2 years, Ubisoft has closed 2 studios, the recently shuttered Ubisoft Halifax and Ubisoft Stockholm. It will also consolidate its production under 5 creative houses charged with specific genres and franchises. These houses will combine game development and go-to-market functions with a gamer-centric approach, the company says, and have full financial ownership and account for economic performance. This includes financial accountability for cash generation. Here's how these houses will shake out. Number 1, Founded Studios, Ubisoft's new Tencent-backed initiative, focused on scaling and extending Ubisoft's largest and established franchises to turn them into annual billionaire brands, and this includes Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Rainbow Six. Number 2, competitive and cooperative shooter experiences, including The Division, Ghost Recon, and Splinter Cell. Number 3, select sharp live experiences, including For Honor, The Crew, Riders Republic, Brawlhalla, and Skull and Bones. Number 4,
Ubisoft is Brawlhalla?
Yeah. Oh, I wasn't thinking that. I was thinking Ubisoft is For Honor. I didn't know that.
I knew that. Yeah. I didn't realize it was Brawlhalla. I thought
For Honor
Brawlhalla must have started out as a small indie and then got absorbed into Ubisoft then,
I think
right?
For Honor.
It's been
I think For Honor did as well. For Honor didn't start out as Ubisoft.
No? Oh, I
think
thought
so.
it did. Okay.
Sorry, Darren.
No, you're all good. You're all good. Number 4, the immersive fantasy worlds and narrative-driven universes, including Anno, Might and Magic, Rayman, Prince of Persia, and Beyond Good and Evil. And number 5, focused on reclaiming position in casual and family-friendly games, including Just Dance, Isle Miner Tycoon, Ketchup, Hungry Shark, Invincible, Guarding the Globe, Uno, and Hasbro. Additionally, the company says it has 4 new IPs currently in development, including March of Giants, a recently acquired MOBA originally made by Amazon. Quote, taken together, these measures mark a decisive turning point for Ubisoft and reflect our determination to confront challenges head-on to reshape the group for the long term, Guillemot said on today's call. It is a radical move relying on a more decentralized creative organization with faster decision-making and best-in-class cross-functional core services supporting and serving each creative house, he says. Reiterating previous comments, Guillemot says Ubisoft is focusing on the 2 core pillars of our strategy, open-world adventures and games as a service. Oh no. Additionally, Ubisoft will see accelerated investments behind player-facing generative AI, which the company demonstrated just recently with an AI companion briefing. All of this aligns with previous remarks regarding Ubisoft regaining its creative edge following several years, largely defined by lukewarm experiences that received more middling reviews. Quote, while these decisions are difficult, they are necessary for us to build a more focused, efficient, and sustainable organization over the long term, Guillemot adds. End of article. I think their share price tanked big time after this article, if I remember listening to some stuff about it. Are Ubisoft F in the A?
They kind of have been for a while, I think. Last year they were basically caught saying that, we're just going to make loads more Assassin's Creed. We don't really know what else to do. They're just going to double down on their big franchises. You're saying Tencent are now in the mix and they're powering...
They're part of their what do they call it? Creative House number 1, which is Vantage Studios, a new Tencent-backed initiative focused on scaling and extending.
I think having 5 creative houses for a single studio just is dumb. I think it's bad for gaming. I think it's just splitting your talent too much, splitting your focus. Look at like this past year, all the great games that came out, it was just smaller teams focused on one project.
Yeah, if anyone knows how to scale stuff like that, it is Tencent, to be fair. But yeah, maybe. Or it could just be more jobs.
Well, they're close to studios.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're opening 5, Darren.
No, I think they're just separating what they have left into 5. Well, I think what's really sad is that the Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake was one thing that was well sought after for a long time by fans, and now it's been cancelled.
Yeah, but in order to make any money off of it, they would have had to release it at some price that nobody's going to agree with, and then we would just be complaining about overpriced remasters again.
I mean, potentially, or you could. In fairness, it's been in development for way too long now. I think it was first announced in fucking 1980s, 70s. It's been years since they've announced first announced that was in production or supposedly in production. But what I mean to say is that they had that, which is a fan favorite. They had that recently brought out, the Prince of Persia, that 2D side scroller.
Yeah, but they then just canned the studio.
They canned the studio, and that
one was really well received, wasn't it?
Really well received. I don't think financially got them the money but I don't know what you expect from a 2D Prince of Persia side scroller. But I mean, if you're going to get well received games, like, when was the last time Ubisoft had a fucking critically rated video game?
I don't even.
Assassin's Creed Black Flag, which they're remaking.
Which they remake and has been delayed until next year.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's messy. I don't even know when the last good Far Cry game was, but they're doing Far Cry 7 this year, allegedly.
A series I have never dipped my toes into.
Some really good games in there. Far Cry 3 is one of my favourite games of all time. Really strong. And they kind of just went downhill after that. But yeah, no, I don't know. It's definitely no innovation. Like, they're not pushing for new things. They're just trying to do a Nintendo where they just have all their IPs and they just regurgitate new-ish versions of them every year, but I don't have any faith that they're going to do a good job of it. But
no.
I'd love to be wrong.
Yeah,
Division is pretty big, but I think it's pretty niche.
And they've Rainbow Six as well, right?
Yeah, that was on one of their creative houses.
Anno's supposed to be pretty big, but also another super niche one.
Yeah.
Oh, Star Wars. Ooh. Yeah, I can't believe they did Brawlhalla. That's crazy.
Yeah, they've interest in, like I said, they've interest in stuff there. I mean, for me, if I was them, I look at Creative House 5, and again, this is just me, but this is for positioning casual and family-friendly games, including Just Dance, Idle Miner Tycoon, Ketchup, Hungry Shark, Invincible, Guarding the Globe, Uno, and Hasbro. I don't know how much that shit's making them. I could be wrong, because I don't invest in. I see Uno on a fucking PlayStation store. I'm not buying it. I have no interest in it.
A lot of people are really down with the Uno game. Like, it's a bit.
I reckon
really
Brawlhalla
popular.
makes them a lot more money than we think too.
Maybe I'm being a bit optimistic, but maybe they see that over time. Like, I think I don't know about the Hasbro stuff writ large, but I know Uno does probably print the money just because it's such a well-known brand.
So maybe Hasbro does. Like, I guess so.
You just hop online and do. I think there's like a webcam feature with Uno as well. Or there definitely was a webcam feature with Uno. I think they might have removed it for reasons.
That's why we can't have nice things.
But yeah, no. What was the point you were going towards? The Studio 5 is
just in terms of, like, I mean, I look at these games like Just Dance. For me, yeah, that's a classic that's been around for years. I think it's still popular enough. Idle Miner Tycoon, I'm like, don't think that makes money. Ketchup, does that make money? Hungry Shark, does that make money? Invincible, Guarding the Globe, I'm like, do any of those make money? Uno and Hasbro, I'm like, okay, fine. If you go to the Hasbro games, you talk about board games released in digital format, maybe that's profitable. But that list of games they mentioned there, at least, like, you talk about in any of the other creative houses, Creative House 1, Assassin's Creed, Far Cry. Number 2, The Division, Ghost Recon. Number 3, The Crew, Skull and Bones. Number 4, Prince of Persia, Beyond Good and Evil. And then number 5 is like things that I fucking never heard of in my life. I'm like, if you're trying to cut costs.
Skull and Bones was the first fucking quadruple A
game. I
well,
forgot
you
about
can't talk shit about that.
Oh yeah. No, but I'm not in terms of like.
Yeah, you can. I was kidding.
No. It's not that I'm trying to talk shit about that one. I mean, like that's well renowned, but it's well known. I mean, Skull and Bones, The Crew, For Honor, like well enough known games. And maybe it's just because these aren't in my own roadhouse. But like Hungry Shark, Ketchup, I don't know what the fuck these are. Like, if this is costing you money to make these games, and are they making a whole lot of money? Do you need a creative house for all of this? Throw Just Dance into one of those other ones and forget about all this other stuff. But again, I don't know if it's making the money. That's January, gentlemen. That is January.
That's
That's
sigh to sum it up perfectly.
yeah. I mean, there was one other article, but it's quite a long one, and I suppose doesn't necessarily affect us because it already happened to us. But it was one of those things that made me sad. I'll just read the headline. It's been an estimated 400 store closures and counting. GameStop's future is in turmoil. It's already left Ireland, which we kind of covered, a couple of years back on the podcast. But yeah, GameStop still.
We still have them in Canada. Well, we never had GameStop, actually. We have what's called
Easy
Games.
Yeah, that was what was in New Zealand as well. Yeah.
That's what was here before.
Electronic boutique.
Well, EB was Game, I think.
It was Game, yeah. Which then became GameStop. But yeah, so EB Games is what was over in New Zealand, and it's sad because that's what I got quite excited about when I was living in New Zealand. I was able to go in there and buy games and had like fun stuff. But in the article, it's quite interesting, and we'll finish up the episode after this. But they talked about how how GameStop has tried so many different things to be, that it got onto the whole trading card hype and was willing to buy rare Pokemon cards and try and legitimately grade Pokemon or trading cards in general. And then it did the whole thing with the Funko Pops and tried to be like that nerdy cult favorite. What would you say? Not tat, but like merch
shop.
Essentially.
They tried to become a merch shop. Yeah.
And I was like, at no point did they ever try and touch upon the kind of like go in there, with your mates and play some games. Like in terms of there was, I don't know if that's to me. I'd love to go. Like there was no, they weren't organizing tournaments, things like that. I kind of wonder would that have been something that could have saved them? Tournament entrance fees to go in and play games.
Arcades are still struggling to stay open. I can't imagine. The regular game store.
Yeah, I can imagine going into GameStop to do those things. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there you go. Crashing and burning. There you go. January. Great month for news, gentlemen. Great month.
February will be happier.
Yeah. Way to go. Well, if you like news, we're going to talk about relatively, I'd say, one good news item and one neutral news item. That is Larian drawing a line in the sand about generative AI and GTA 6 not coming out and being physical copies at all. That's all on our Patreon, which you can check out at patreon.com/skepticgamer.
We were just defending how much we wanted stories, and then GTA 6, the biggest game of the fucking our lives, is not going to have physical versions at all.
Yeah. So you want to hear our thoughts on that? You can check out the post show. But Chris, thank you so much for sticking around.
No problem.
Luke, thank you so much for being here.
You got it.
And to our listeners, as always, and forever, keep enjoying the gift that is gaming. Peace out.